Dear students, this is 12th Zoology video class, chapter 10, part 2. Chapter 10, part 2, Applications of Biotechnology. Last video class, we have seen what is interference, we have seen, and we have seen what is recombinant vaccine, we have seen, and these are the recombinant vaccines. And next topic we are going to see is the one gene therapy. Next topic we are going to see is the one gene therapy. This is what in by gene therapy. If a person is born with a hereditary disease, can a corrective therapy be given for such disease? Such therapy be given for such disease. Yes, this can be done by a process known as gene therapy. So what do they ask here? If a person is just born with hereditary disease, can a corrective therapy be given for such a disease? That's the questions. Here, yes, this can be done by a process known as gene therapy. This process involves the transfer of a normal gene into a person's cells that carries one or more mutant alleles. The expression of normal gene in the person results in a functional gene product whose action produces a normal phenotype. Delivery of a normal gene is accomplished by using a vector. The main thrust of gene therapy has been directed at corresponding a single gene mutations as in cystic fibrosis and hemophilia. At present, most of genetic diseases have no effective treatment. At present, most genetic diseases have no effective treatment, and so gene therapy could offer hope for many people. There are two strategies involved in gene therapy, namely gene augmentations therapy, which involves insertion of DNA into the genome to replace the missing gene products, and gene inhibition therapy, which involves insertions of antisense gene which inhibits the expressions of dominant genes. The two strategies are, just underline gene augmentation. They'll ask you what is gene augmentations. And second one is the one gene inhibitions. Gene inhibitions therapy. That is a second strategies. The two approaches to achieve gene therapy are somatic cell and germline gene therapy. We'll see what is somatic cell therapy. It involves the insertions of fully functional and expressible gene into a target somatic cells to correct genetic diseases permanently, whereas germline therapy involves introductions of DNA into germ cells which passed on to the successive generations. Gene therapy involves isolations of specific gene and making it copies and inserting them into target cells to make desired proteins. It is absolutely essential for gene therapists to ensure that the gene is harmless to the patient and is appropriately expressed, that the gene body's immune system does not react to the foreign proteins produced by a new gene. Here, that's what about the gene therapy. There are small information bits are there here. It's a tabular column. Differentiate between somatic cell gene therapy and germline cell gene therapy. Here, therapeutic genes transfer into the somatic cells, and here the germline cells. Therapeutic genes transfer into the germline cells. Introductions of gene into the bone marrow cells, body cells, skin cells, etc. Genes introduced into eggs and sperms will not be inherited in later generations, heritable and passed on later generations. This is important 2 marks, so just you can mark it out. And there is one more small information bits here. The first clinical gene therapy was given the year of 1990 by Francis Anderson to a 4-year-old girl with adenosine deaminase deficiency, that is ADA. So there was a 4-year girl child which are infected by ADA deficiency. Or we can say ADA deficiency or SCID. SCID means severe combined immunodeficiency disease. It is an autosomal recessive metabolic disorder. It is caused by deletion or dysfunctions of gene coding for ADA enzymes. So it is a recessive, it is autosomal recessive metabolic disorder caused by deletions or dysfunctions of gene coding for ADA enzymes. In these patients, the non-functioning T lymphocytes cannot elicit immune response. So the patients when are infected by ADA, the T lymphocytes they don't act, they don't produce immune power. That's what they say. The T lymphocytes cannot elicit immune response against invading pathogens. What do you mean by invading? Attacking pathogens. The right approach for SCID treatment would be to give the patient a functioning ADA which breaks down the toxic biological products. In some children, ADA deficiency could be cured by bone marrow transplantations, where defective immune cells could be replaced with the healthy immune cells from a donor. Okay. In some children, the ADA deficiency can cause by bone marrow. That bone marrow has to be transplanted from a healthy persons, where they can get healthy immune cells from a donor. Some patients it can be treated by enzymes replacement therapy, in which functional ADA is injected into the patient. During gene therapy, the lymphocytes from the blood of the patient are removed and grown in a nutrient culture medium. In a nutrient culture medium. A healthy and functional human gene, ADA, cDNA, encoding these enzymes is introduced into lymphocytes using retrovirus. The genetically engineered lymphocytes are subsequently returned to the patient. Since these cells are not immortal, the patient requires periodic infusions of such genetically engineered lymphocytes. The disease could be cured permanently if the genes for ADA is isolated from the bone marrow cells and are introduced into the cells of the early embryonic stages. This is what about the information about the first clinical gene therapy which was done by the Francis Anderson. 3 methods just they're going here. You can go through The next topic is the one stem cell therapy. Stem cell therapy. Yeah, this is what is stem cell therapy. What is stem cell therapy? The stem cells are undifferentiated cells found in most of the multicellular animals. Just mark it 2 marks. These cells maintain their undifferentiated state even after undergoing numerous mitotic divisions. Stem cell research has potential to revolutionize revolutionized the future of medicines with the ability to regenerate damaged and diseased organs. Stem cells are capable of self-renewable and exhibit cellular potency. The stem cells can differentiate into all type of cells that are derived from any of the three germ layers: ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. In mammals, there are two main types of stem cells are there. One is embryonic stem cell, that is because of ES cells. Another one is one adult stem cells. We'll see first one, embryonic stem cells. So here, these embryonic stem cells are pluripotent, can produce three primary germ layers, that is ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Embryonic stem cells are multipotent stem cells that can differentiate into a number of types of cells. Embryonic stem cells are also isolated from the epiblast tissues of inner cell mass of the blastocyst. When stimulated, embryonic stem cells can develop into more than 200 cell types of the adult body. Embryonic stem cells are immortal that can be proliferate in a sterile culture medium and maintain their undifferentiated state. Adult stem cells are found in various tissues of children as well as adult. And adult stem cells, somatic stem cells can divide and create another cell similar to it. Most of the adult stem cells are multipotent and can act on repair system of the body, replenishes adult tissues. The red bone marrow is a rich source of adult stem cells. The most important and potential applications of human stem cells is the generations of cells and tissues that could be used for cells-based therapies. Human stem cells could be used to test new drugs. Use new drugs. Here, so that stem cells. Next one is the stem cells banking. Stem cells banking is extractions, processing, and storage of stem cells. So that may be used for treatment in future when required. Amniotic cell bank is amniotic cell bank is facility that stores stem cells derived from amniotic fluids for future use. Stem cells are stored in banks as banks in specifically for the use by the individuals from whom such cells have been collected and banking costs are paid. The cord blood banking is extractions of stem cells from the umbilical cord during childbirth. While the umbilical cord and cord blood are the most popular source of stem cells, the placenta, amniotic sac, and amniotic fluids are also rich sources in terms of both quantity and quality. Here, it's very important. 2 marks are also important information which you have to learn what is totipotency, what is pluripotency, what is multipotency, what is oligopotency, what is unipotency. Totipotency is the ability of single cell to divide and produce all of differentiated cells in our organisms. That is because of totipotency. Pluripotency. Pluri means several. It is refers to a stem cells that has potentially to differentiate into any of three germ layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. The next one is the one multipotency. Multi means many. So multipotency refers to the stem cells that can differentiate into the various types of cells that are related. For example, blood stem cells can differentiate into lymphocytes, monocytes, and neutrophils, etc. Then oligopotency, oligo means few. It refers to the stem cells that can differentiate into few cell types. Example, lymphoid or myeloid stem cells can differentiate into B and T cells, but not RBC. The next one is the one unipotency. Uni means single, refers to the ability of stem cells to differentiate into only one type of cells. So this topic is very very important one. 3 mark point of view, 2 marks point of view they'll ask you. Just go through. Today we are seeing then different types of stem cells. Now what is stem cell therapy we are seeing, and also we are seeing small informations about the Francis Anderson, and also we are seeing differentiate between stem cell therapy and gene therapy, germline therapy, and also we are seeing gene therapy. So these are the topic we are seeing today. Just go through. If you have any doubt, you can contact me. Okay, bye. Take care.